Caro-Kann, advanced variation, bishop f5, knight f3, and we play e6, bishop to e2, and c5. Start to attack the center. This is pretty good, and we black set up a very active plan attacking in the center. Bishop to e3 and queen b6. This is good. Once the dark square bishop moved out, the b2 pawn become a target. But we also need to be aware that sometimes if we win the pawn at the b2, our queen could be trapped. We need to be careful about that. And also, winning the pawn could slow down our piece development. So yeah, let's keep that in mind. And let's see how white responds. So white taking the pawn. So actually the best move for white is first of all not taking the pawn, because this move help black develop the bishop. So white could castle, make the king safe, and as I said, taking the b2 pawn is not a very good move, because white can speed up the attack at the center. White can even push the c pawn to c4 to open up center. If you look at the piece development, if the center is opened, black king will be so exposed. Black cannot even win the rook, because after queen b3, first of all, white can take the b7 pawn, trap this rook, and also knight c3, the queen will be trapped. So the queen will be in danger, and also white will be so quick and dangerous on the queen side, and also the center. So my point is white shouldn't take the pawn so early. That help black develop the bishop. So taking the pawn, black take the b2 pawn. So actually we can take the c5 pawn to develop our bishop. If white take our bishop, we can take that back, and our queen can be very safe close to the center, and we can develop the knight, develop this knight. Black also has a very solid structure at the center, and also look at the bishop and the queen targeting at c2. They are collaborating so well. So this is a very good position for black actually. So black take the pawn, bishop to d4, kick the queen. Actually, I will play queen to d4 to offer a queen exchange. I think black has to take the queen because there's no anywhere to go. If black take the pawn, as I said, black will be slow in piece development. For example, queen b4, the b2, b7 pawn will be captured, and also look at the queen side. The king will also be in danger. So if you move the knight to d7, for example, white can divide the knight, also trap the queen, and also, after castle, the h1 rook also can move to c1. If you look at the engine bar, white is so better than black, taking the pawn and bishop to b5. The problem for black is a slow development at the king side. So if black exchange the queens, white can take that with the knight, and also threatening exchange with the light square bishop. The center pawn structure of black will be destroyed. So this is quite good. And black cannot take the c5 because white can win material with knight f5. So in this game, white play bishop to d4 and black win another pawn. The difference between queen move to d4 is, if you move queen to d4, black take the pawn, you don't have to trade the queens. You can move your queen to b4 to even more threatening position. But in this position, after bishop to d4, after queen c2, black force a queen exchange. And after trading the queens, the danger at the king side will be minimized. So after queen exchange, actually black is better, if you can tell from the board. And bishop back to g6. I think bishop to e4 is better than g6 because, yeah, it's at the center. Even so, yeah, it's better than being at g6, but it's not a problem. Knight to b5, queen d7, and knight to d6. And we take the knight because the knight is so strong. And pawn takes. So I'm thinking, should white take down with the e pawn or the c pawn? The good thing with taking down with c pawn is I am so sure that white will be quicker than black to control the c file. So make this c file open that favors white, and white take down with the e pawn, potentially attacking g7 and want to move knight to e5, I think. But after f6, yeah, knight e5 is impossible, and also this diagonal is blocked. And another thing is, after the e5 move to d6, white will lose the control of the center. The e5 pawn is so good for black. c6, knight to h4. Yeah, so now the I think the most, I mean, the priority for black is develop these two pieces. These two pieces are so slow in development. I understand it's not easy to move the knight to e7, but we can move it to h6. It's at the rook file, but we can later develop to like f7 or f5. It's fine, and or knight g4, knight e5. So we need to develop knight, because only after develop knight we can connect the rooks. So this is very important to connect the rooks. So knight h6, this is something I recommend. So in this game, black doesn't want to lose the bishop. I think that's fine to move the bishop to b7. And white castle, I think white can take the bishop. I figure I'm a little bit worrying about the b file, to be honest. How can black stop bishop to rook to c? Okay, maybe, yeah, I think black can take it with a king. Yeah, that's good. Then we can close the b file, at least semi-open. This is good. And later we can push the e pawn, d pawn. We can open up this diagonal, and our knight can be developed from h6. Yeah. And so, for example, we can play a couple of moves: e5, bishop to, yeah, e3. Keep pushing pawn. Here we have a very strong knight h5 is okay, or we can move. Yeah, let's move the knight first, and later bishop to e6 and knight f7. This is very good for black. So white can, I don't think castle is necessary for white because it's already endgame, even though make the king at the e2 is quite safe. Once we move the king to the king side, eventually we will move it out. So yeah, we can make the king stay at e2. And another thing is more urgent is we need to figure out a way to stop e5, because this pawn is so strong. It's a center pawn and it's connected with the d5. Once the e5 pawn is pushed, d4 is coming, and this light square bishop is so dangerous. a6, yeah, I think e5 is a better move. E5 is really good. As I said, black can control the center very well. a6, exchange. Yeah, the thing is, after a6, we cannot really take that with a king, because the b6 square is weak, and after rook b6, the king back to d7 will lose b7. When we have this a pawn, a7, we can stop b6. That's a very good defender. And the question for both sides is, once we open the open file like this, does exchange favors white or black? So this question is super important. If we think opening the b file favors white, then from black's perspective, we shouldn't push our opponent to trade the bishop with the knight. Does that make sense? Does it make sense? Because the open file, if we cannot control the open file, we don't have to push our opponent to open a file, right? It just favors our opponent. So rook b1, the reason I'm pretty sure white can control the open file, because first of all, the knight hasn't developed, the two rooks are not connected. It's super hard for us to move the rook to b8, and also white, this pawn is a very strong piece standing here, stopping our knight moved out, king to c7. So it's really awkward or more difficult for black pieces to maneuver at the queen side. So as I said, this openness of the b file makes white easy to control the b file. But we still need to push. But if we play it now, it's a little bit tricky because rook b7. I think we have a very bad piece position at the back rank. Bishop to c5. Now even we can push the pawn. d7 is coming, and also bishop to a5. And this rook is so annoying. So now white is better. And I don't think black has a chance to stop rook b7. g5. Yeah, this makes us this gives us another weakness, which is at this diagonal. I mean, so the purpose of g5, we need to figure out the purpose of g5. We want to kick the knight for sure, but the question is, are we kicking the knight to a better position or not? Because knight at h4 doesn't do anything. It's not very helpful. We kick knight close to the center. That favors our opponent. So I can think of one reason. Maybe we are a little bit afraid of knight f5. So we want to kick the knight away and push the e pawn. This is the reason I can think of. But actually we did something else. We moved the king to c8. The moves. So it shows that we don't have a plan to play e5. So then why don't we play g5? Because the g5 move it seems helpful. It seems being aggressive, but it's helpful for our opponent. It helps opponent to move the piece to a better position. King c8. Yeah, you see. So we actually create a weakness on the board because the pawn is pinned. Now I think white is winning. Knight c7 and rook to b1. Yeah, so now I don't think black has a chance to balance the position, and we don't have to walk through the rest of the game. So that's it.